Welcome back again, everybody. This video we will cover the remaining part of the shooting method. So we have discussed the first order differential equations examples on the previous video. Now we go into the shooting method for the second order ordinary differential equation. So in order to formulate and solve the model that consists of the second order differential equations into MATLAB, then we need to rewrite the second order ODE into two first order ODEs by introducing a new variable which is the derivative of the first variable. So if we have this this second order ODE, for example, then we can introduce dy per dz is equal x1. So in this case, then the second order derivative becomes this. Then now instead of one second order ODE, we have two first order differential equations like this. The first, this is the second. You need to recheck back again and try to derive it yourself to make sure that what I explained in here is correct. And then we inspect the example of the tubular reactor with dispersion. A tubular reactor has a plug flow velocity profile, axial dispersion, and a first order reaction. So the dispersion here describes the microscopic mixing of small elements caused by small-scale turbulent effects. The dispersion term is normally modeled as a second-order derivative of the concentration gradient and scaled by the dispersion coefficient E. So if we make a steady-state material balance in the reactor axial space dimension, then we will have this. We will recover this particular second-order ODE with the two boundary conditions of this and this. So how do we derive this second-order ODE? I'll show you in my notes here. So let's say I have a tubular reactor with this geometry that where we take at this point 0, and then the z is taken to be started with from the initial coordinate of the tube. Okay, and then we take this our tensions into this differential length of the tubular reactor. Then what we can do is we can make a material balance in here. All these things that I describe in here is mostly related with the transfer phenomena concept, and a lot of them is because its transfer phenomena mostly are based on the distributed models. So this one is the in one is this term in here with this term in here. This one is the dispersion term. This one is the convection term, and then you have the out, and the consumption. Always check for the units. Okay, and then we can divide by A, divide by delta Z, then we recover this term in here. As we take the limit as delta Z is approaching 0, we get this term in here, where V is a constant, and this JAX is defined as this. Okay, if we continue the processing, then we will have this thing in here. Okay, and then further simplifications will give us the equations that we use over there. dc per dz is equal this dAx multiplied by d square c per dz square. Okay. How about the boundary conditions? The boundary conditions come from this particular particular physical conditions of your system. So at Z equals 0, no diffusion in the first section of the reactor, but there is dispersion in the reaction zone. So you have these things in here. You equalize the one before the inlet with the one at the out, just after the inlet. Then you get these things in here. Okay, at Z equal L, the reaction is terminated, therefore the concentration gradient is 0. So you have this dC per dZ. Okay, I go back again to my slides. And you want to check whether what I showed you there is basically translate into these equations in here. These equations in here. And then now the next part is that we have to express this particular ODE, second order ODE, into two first order ODEs. So we express dC per Z is equal x1, and the x1 per dz becomes this, and then the boundary condition is converted to this boundary conditions, and then this one will become this. So I want you to look into how to convert those these boundary conditions in here into these boundary conditions, and also these boundary conditions in here into this boundary. I want you to rework these things yourself. And then now we make another functions called tubex x3m, which consisted of two inputs t and x in here, with the one output of the x. And then this x in here is a matrix where the first component, the derivative of the concentration with respect to the z variable, and then this c is the concentrations, and then all of this is a constant basically, and then this dx1 is basically your basically this equations in here, and then your dc in here is basically your x1 in here. Okay, so this basically this function is giving you the two first order ordinary differential equations, and then you make another MATLAB and fun checks with calculate the residual, the concentration derivative that is 0 at the outlets, and plots the concentration versus the reactor length. So it uses ODE23, and then it compares the residual should be residual in here is defined as the xn in here is this one, and then you want to basically zero the residual in here, and then after you run these things into use of f0 to run these things, then you can get the particular value of x1 at the inlet that give the zero derivative at the outlet here, and your concentration profile has this particular profile value, like it's plotted in this graph in here. So moving on, let's say if we have unstable ordinary differential equations, and so for this case we need to do the shooting using a backward shooting instead of the forward shooting. So for example, the problem in example 5.3 contains an ODE which is unstable, and normally unstable ODE is hard to solve. Unfortunately, the ODE in example 5.3 is linear, and it was possible to find the right answer, which may not always be the case. In order for you to solve using a shooting method nonlinear ODE, normally you need to use a guess value that does not give exploding ODE solutions, and it is often possible to rewrite the ODE and change the direction of the shooting. So using the same example again, except in this example we utilize the backward variable. So this one is we are using a a variable called zz, which is L minus Z. In our previous example, we are using Z. In here, we are using the other direction around. Zz is equal L minus Z. Then we can translate this to this, and then our transform reactor model become this, and with the boundary conditions also modified as well into this. I can show you in my note roughly how to do those things. Okay. Now we have this ZZ, which is basically a L minus Z. So that we have this dZz per dz is equal minus 1. And then your original equation was this. Then you need to translate this dz into zz, so you do this chain rule in here. And then if you do everything correctly like what I did in here, then you will recover these equations in here. And so you need to also do these things for your boundary conditions. Your original boundary condition was this. Now you need to express it in terms of zz. So that means you have to follow these steps in here. Use another chain rule again in here. Then you will get these equations in here. For zz equal L, which is equal to z equal 0. And then for these conditions in here, dc per dz is equal 0. You have to follow these steps in here in order to get dc per dz equal 0, at zz equal 0, which is the same at z equal L. Okay, so that's basically what I showed you in the my note. Has to be, you need to cross check again, it has to be equal to this these three equations in here, 1, 2, and 3 in here. And then again we make another function file of the MATLAB that express this to the two ordinary differential equations. Okay, this one with this one, and then we also make another residual function as well, which uses an ODE23. And then note that the zz in here is basically L minus Z in here. And then once we run these things, we get this concentration expressed in terms of the reactor length backwards, and then which you can basically convert back into the thermal reactor length. X10 in here is the value of the derivative at the endpoint. Inlet and C0 is at the endpoint, which is the inlet basically. Now you need to realize that ZZ is L minus Z, and C0 is the concentrations at the inlet. I know the examples I give in here is a bit complex, but what most important is that you put some kind of thinking into figuring out how this MATLAB is working, and hopefully you will get something out of the MATLAB codes. With this, I conclude my lecture for week 8. Thank you for listening.